Hello and welcome to this edition of BizWatch. I'm Qing Yi. At the 6th WTO Ministerial Conference in Hong Kong, Chinese Commerce Minister Bo Xilai has asked WTO members to recognize China's market economy status. Bo outlined China's remarkable contributions to world trade, linking them to China's de facto economy status. Currently, less than half of the WTO members have granted China market economy status. Bo says tariff cuts made on joining the WTO 4 years ago have contributed to the multilateral trade system. China is now contributing $600 billion in imports to world trade and is the fastest developing economy in the world. This month marks the 4th anniversary of China's entry into the WTO. China spent more than 15 years to become a member of the World Trade Organization, and membership brings its responsibilities as well as privileges. How have they affected the economy of China and the life of the Chinese people over the past 4 years? This week I interviewed Professor Zhou Hanming, an expert in China's WTO affairs. He commented on those progress. Now, since China's entry into the WTO in 2001, we've seen a tremendous growth in China's foreign trade, and now China ranks number 3 in the world in terms of total trade volume, and we know that figure has almost tripled to around $1.4 trillion. Now, in addition to foreign trade, what has been the impact of the WTO on China's economy as a whole in the past 4 years?
The impact is tremendous and fundamental. Firstly, this is a regulated economy. After China entered the WTO. Right. We have amended or abolished or newly established quite a number of laws, regulations, both at the national level as well as the regional level in world trade, investment, protection of intellectual property, so on and so forth. And secondly, more and more Chinese enterprises, as well as Chinese people, know very well we are a player in the very important trade organization of WTO, not only a listener, not only a participant, but also a creator of laws and regulations of WTO. So that's why China is participating so actively in the Doha round. Right. And thirdly, just because among all 149 member states of members actually of WTO, China is a leading body of developing world. So that's why all responsibilities as well as endeavors of us is not only for the benefits of the people of China, but also for the whole developing world.
Now, on a more micro level, how has the WTO affected everyday life of Chinese people?
I will say, firstly, we have many more new trends in our daily life. For instance, just because the further reduction of both for the industrial products as well as for agricultural products, more and more foreign products can come to China and to meet the needs and wants of people at different level. And people understand very well international trade is under a kind of doctrine of free trade, free investment, as well as a kind of justified trade policies. That's why this is two-way traffic, for instance, like the increasement so quickly of the petroleum products, especially the oil price is soaring these days. People in China, whenever you are a taxi driver or you have your own car, will be further affected by that trend. This is not isolated economy. This is a major player in a major trend of international trade.
Some analysts say that in the past 4 years, China has been doing very well in realizing its WTO commitments in terms of opening its sectors, various sectors to overseas competition. But on the other hand, in terms of responding to trade conflicts or resolving trade conflicts, like the textile issue we saw this year, China hasn't been doing that well, and it needs improvement and even creativity in the future. What do you think? Do you agree?
China is a learner. China is a newcomer. The negotiation techniques, strategies, even skills are very tricky to us. Right. And along with the booming of exportation, problems will come, and it's very natural. As you have just now mentioned, the negotiation for the textiles and lots of anti-dumping cases in this or that country. Right. We can presume more and more of this kind of problems or disputes or even fights in the future. We should deem them as a natural responses along with the major trend of China's economic development. However, how to solve those issues? I think the resolution is only one. Because we are a member of WTO. Those laws and regulations must be abided by. Like textile issues. We solve the issue with EU, with the US, all in accordance with WTO commitments and regulations in both ways. Never try to solve the issue in a bilateral way. This is a must. So it really teaches us how to well understand the tricky words, expressions, paragraphs in all the documents of WTO is still a big demand, a high demand for Chinese people.
Overall, on the scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate China's performance over the past 4 years?
9 to 9.5 could be the score because it's realistic. You can read the remark by USTR made several days ago, and also by major comments from EU and almost all leading developing countries in WTO. The score is there. However, certain fields are very important for us to notice. First, agriculture. The further reduction of the tariffs and non-tariff measures. Second, the further market access of agricultural products. Third, the further openness of trade in services. And fourthly, the more effective and efficient protection of intellectual properties. Those 4 fields are major fields for China.
Now, among those 4 issues, what would you say is the top priority for 2006 for China?
Judging by all those political talks this year with major players in WTO, I think the further protection of intellectual property is a key. For us, it's also key. Because China is a country famous of creation and invention, even in ancient times. Right. How to stimulate, promote, and further protect intellectual properties is the key for the success of China's modernization. This is not pressure from outsiders. Right. This should be a stimulus from internal responses.
Professor Zhou added that the most relevant topic to China at the Hong Kong Ministerial Conference is the increased market access of agricultural products.